What's good, man? Uh, it hasn't been too long from my remembrance. I'm hoping I'm not starting to lose track of time because I've been working a good amount as of late. Nothing crazy. Yeah, I posted a week ago, so nothing, nothing bad. But I'm just trying to think like, oh no. But free agency, NBA free agency started. And a lot of things have happened. I think last week I talked lastly about I cannot remember, but it was more than likely about I did the Orlando Magic, KCP, all that, KD, Drew Holiday. So, ooh, all right. So I stopped talking about like Porzingis because I know that was one of the last trades that we saw. I know I'm probably shaking the camera right now, so let me stop doing that. But I'm gonna just go through since the Porzingis trade. And see what's happened since the Porzingis trade because a lot has happened. I want to do a draft video. I can talk a little bit about the draft and the guys that because I haven't really I'm not saying because I last year and the year before more than likely. Well, I know last year I did a lot more looking into players. I watched a lot of film on draftees and people who were going to get drafted. So I knew a lot more, but I know a good amount about the guys in the draft this year. But so let's see. I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna just run through this because I'm gonna go to where I stopped, and I stopped at, if I'm not mistaken, well, I'm gonna go through the notable signings, and the notable trades and all that good stuff. Um. Or I just go to good old Instagram and shout out my boy Shams. But Shams usually posts the more notable deals and things that happens in the NBA. So for NBA fans that want to know, and I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna go back to the Porzingis trade. So that happened, and then after that, Kyrie Irving signed a 3-year, $119 million. Was that an extension? Or he declined his player option. Yep, and then he signed a 3-year deal. Fred VanVleet re-signed. That's good presence for the Rockets. They need that veteran point guard. I know people are. I might be one of those people, but talking about Amen Thompson running the point guard, and we haven't. I don't think we've seen enough. I think he can be an elite point guard at 6'7" with his defensive ability, his playmaking ability. I think he's got to get a jump shot. His handle's still kind of loose, but he's more of a wing right now. And I know they're going to run him at the 2, but if I was really looking at it, Ime Udoka's probably going to run him at the 3 and KD at the 2. For the sake of what the team actually needs. And KD's run the 2. He ran the 2 as a rookie. And I can see that happening. But Fred VanVleet re-signed. I don't know why John Collins. We need to come. John Collins exercise his deal. Yeah, we know Mark Williams is going to Phoenix. All this talk about Phoenix needing a big when they had KD. As soon as he's gone, they draft Malawash because they got the 10th pick. And then they go and get Mark Williams, too. So it's going to be interesting to see how that too big, the Twin Towers maybe. And then, like I was saying, John Collins is a guy who I was talking to somebody at my church about. We're Pistons fans, and he was like, "Man, John Collins might be a guy we could go after." And I'm not lying. He's not lying. Our Pistons, we need a 4, and I know I'm gonna get to that later with the whole Dennis Schroeder sign and trade. But yeah, and then of course I'm gonna go to the draft a little later. It's a lot of signings for the draft. I'm going to skip over those right now. But Houston, they intend to bring back, of course, Jayshawn Tate, Aaron Holiday, Jeff Green. Shout out Jeff Green, man. Still getting that bag. Nas Reed, 5-year, 125. Shout out to him. He's talking to that fan who was talking about him not even getting $100 million on this next contract. And then I remember I see it in the comment section, and that kid was like, "That's me. I'm posting all the receipts." I don't understand though, as like a fan of basketball, like how do you trash talk somebody, and then as soon as they're up and they're doing well, you're like, "Yeah, that was me. I was trash talking him. I'm the reason." No, you got to take the L, but he took it like a champ. This is a big trade. I'm gonna sit here and talk about. I don't know if I'm gonna talk about it for a long time, but Lonzo Ball for Isaac Okoro. Let me get this hair off the mic real quick. Sorry. But see, I've been an Isaac Okoro fan since his high school days with him and Sharif Cooper. And Lonzo Ball, of course. We know what Lonzo's been capable of his entire career. But that's a big time pickup, and I know they're gonna lose Ty Jerome. I've been working so much. I haven't really been, but I've been paying attention to like the major deals and the major trades and all that good stuff. But with the loss, because they signed Sam Merrill over Ty Jerome. And looking at a guy like Lonzo, who he's been injured, but Lonzo still contributes in multiple ways of the basketball court. He's like 6'6", point guard. He can run the second unit. Even if they do something with Darius Garland, I'd be confident with Lonzo Ball running my point guard. The only question, it's not like his intangibles and his skill set is still there. Like, who was it? Jeff on Sports said the only question is if his defensive ability is still there. Because Lonzo's a guy who we saw in Chicago, who was able to not only run the show, but also be one of the best on-ball defenders in basketball. And with these injuries, it's going to be interesting to see how he fits with Cleveland. And I'm not going to lie, I like that pickup for them. And with Boston being written with Tatum's injury, Indiana, I'm going to get to Miles Turner, but they're written now with Hallie's injury, and now with the loss of Miles Turner, it's going to be interesting to see that the East is low-key wide open. It's for the taking, and teams like Atlanta and teams like Cleveland should be, and of course New York, who's still at the top, but I feel like New York has what it takes to take it there. Now that Indy and Boston are down, I think they can beat Cleveland, but it'll be interesting to see. Davion Mitchell signed back to the Heat for 2 years, $24 million. I like Davion Mitchell. He could be a very important piece of the future of the Miami Heat. And, the Heat is always a place where stars are shipped. He's going to go there. He's going to go there. But seeing a guy like Davion Mitchell, who's continually adding to his offensive game, and we know him as a defensive menace. He can guard. He's a lockdown, and his jump shot is coming along. And he's another guy that I've been watching. I watched him at Baylor. Him and Jared Butler, bro. Those were my guys. People don't even know about that. Like, I was a big fan of them before COVID, and COVID struck, and March Madness was it didn't happen because of COVID in 2020. But my picks to win it in 2020 were Baylor because of Davion Mitchell, Jared Butler. What happened in 2021? They came back. Nobody had them. I don't understand. I was a believer the entire time in those guys because Jared Butler, they had what's his name? Oh my god, they had a lot of they just had solid pieces, bro. Flagler, I'm trying to think of his name right now. The ginger light skin with the freckles. Oh my gosh, Maceo Teague. Yeah, I used to mess with those guys heavy. Yeah, yep, here it is. Sam Merrill, 4 year, $38 million. That's a bag for him. He's going to be a guy who adds depth off the bench, shooting, energy. It's just tough for me because I like Ty Jerome, and Ty Jerome had a breakout year, and to see that they chose, because I know it's not like they act like they couldn't have split that between the two. I know Ty Jerome probably wants a bigger bag, and that's respectable. Nick Batum's still out here getting bags. Garrett Temple, back to Toronto. He's been in the league for a while. Dylan Jones was traded for a second-round pick. That's crazy. If I got traded for a second-round pick in the league, not even a player, not no money, just a pick, you don't understand how hard I would work to, like, prove that team wrong. And I know it's acting like the Thunder. What? I don't know. But, I don't know. I guess they just had to do it. Jalen Williams, 3-year, $24 million. The light-skinned Jalen with a Y. Shout out to him. Brown exercising his $2.6 million player option. See, that's interesting to me because if you know me, you know I'm not the biggest LeBron fan by any means. If you know me, you could say I'm one of the biggest Bron haters. And it's just something about the fan bases. It's not like I'm the biggest Jordan guy. I'm, of course, a KD guy. But it's just something about the fans saying the longevity is there. The longevity is there. He's not chasing Jordan. People cannot say that if he literally continues to say, like, he might get traded and he's in year 23 now and he's trying to compete for a championship. What? That's all I got to say. I'm going to leave it there. But $52.6 million and 40 years old is crazy. And he's still all NBA talent. Come on, LeBron. It's not like I don't respect him. He's a GOAT, bro. He's top 2. This is something I have to talk about because I'm a Pistons fan. Malik Beasley, bro. I know it says this is from possibly his Bucks year, but I know he's down. He was down, bro. He must have been spending all of his money. He must have been deep in debt. Like, he was trying to pay back his debt. But, like, man, what? I don't understand, bro. You truly don't have a love for the game if you have to get to that point. I don't care if you broke. You got to trust your work, man. Like, why are you betting? I just don't understand it, dog. Like, that's all I got to say, bro. Because now we lost out on Malik. And that's a big loss for us, 3-point shooting wise. And I'm going to get to the guys we signed free agency, but that's a tough loss. That's a tough loss as a Pistons fan, man. Top 2 and 3s this season, 40+% from the 3-point line. And that's just something we're going to have to, that's going to haunt us as Pistons fans forever because, like, that's not our fault. We didn't do that. It was Malik. And now we have to settle with players who we don't know are going to perform to the level of Malik Beasley. But we got to trust the process. Kelly Oubre back to Philly, another guy who's just been in the league doing what he needed to do his entire career. Solid wing. For sure, if they make a run, he will be a big piece in there. Hey, Philly's, I was talking about the East being wide open. Especially with them drafting VJ. They got Jared McCain, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George. And, of course, Joel Embiid, the bench depth. I think they might get I'm pretty sure Quentin Grimes was looking to come back, too. Julius Randle, 3-year, $100 million to stay with the Timberwolves. The trade, this is one. Colin Sexton and a 2030 second-round pick for Yusuf Nurkic. I don't understand that trade. Like, I guess, like, Utah is really trying to tap into that young core, even though Colin Sexton is still very young, and he's still a bucket, and he's very efficient, and he's a very tenacious player. But I want to see Colin play winning basketball. I know every player that I talk about, I've been watching him since this, and this. That's just been me my entire life. I've been watching high school hoops since I was like 9, and I'm 20 now, so I've seen a lot of these guys. Like, Colin Sexton was my favorite high school player. I will not lie to you. Every Colin Sexton video that popped up on Hoop Diamonds, if you know, you know, Hoop Diamonds YouTube channel, I was watching. But I want to see him play winning basketball. And Yusuf Nurkic to the Utah Jazz, they got Walker Kessler. Like, they got bigs. I I don't know. Like I said, I think Utah's just trying to tap into their young guard core of Isaiah Collier, trying to put the ball in his hands and trust him. They got Walter Clayton. They have Keontae George. Like, they got Jordan Clarkson's gone. So now it's just youth there. And let's see if they can put it all together. I don't know if they're going to be able to tank for AJ like they want to. But knowing the league, somehow, some way, AJ Devonta will be on the Utah Jazz next year. Lonnie Walker, man, he can never keep a job. I don't understand, bro. Very talented, very athletic. Eric Gordon on the market. Harden continuing to add to his bag. 2-year, $81.5 million contract. What is going on? Harden is a legend. Bobby Portis, 3-year, $44 million. See, I'm going to talk about Bobby. I saw, of course, I'm going to get to Miles Turner soon, whenever he pops up on the timeline. But with the loss of Brook Lopez to LA, which I shouldn't even say that yet. I was thinking that, like, Bobby could have ran the 5 for them, and we could have really saw what Bobby's, because we've seen what Bobby's capable of off the bench, bro. And I think he could have ran the 5 for them and been just as good because he's younger, he's more mobile. But Bobby Portis is one of those guys that you bring off the bench, and he's a do-it-all big. He can do it all. He can shoot the 3, stretch the floor, play defense, give you energy. And he's just a good piece you have to have, because he could have went anywhere else. A lot of teams would love to have a Bobby Portis. It's like him and Naz Reid are like him. It's like him and Naz Reid are two guys that automatically come to mind when I think of coming off the bench bigs who can just do. They can just, they're like a spark plug off the bench as a big. You expect spark plugs in basketball to be guards or wings, but they're bigs. Jabari Smith got that 5-year, $122 million extension. Loving it. Shout out to him. I'm still a believer, especially with my guy KD on Houston now. I want to see how he because that's one of his guys he looked up to. So playing with the guy you looked up to is probably something that boosts your morale, boosts your intensity, boosts your drive and want to win. And I know KD want to win, so I'm liking it. I'm just going through some notable stuff. I'm sorry. Jaren Jackson, 5-year, $240 million extension. I didn't even talk about us possibly bringing him back home to Michigan, but he got that bag. Well deserved. Shout out to him. Former Spartan, defensive juggernaut, can shoot the ball, unorthodox game, but Jaren Jackson is a presence on the floor. All NBA player, all defensive player, all-star. Izzo produced. And he was a one and done. Shout out to Jaren, bro. He's a guy that I love his game because he could do it all on the court, except for rebound. I know he's a big, but he averaged like 4 rebounds. Come on. If Jaren was to up that to like 8, 9, nobody would talk about him for doing anything. Like, he needs to get that rebound number up, but he's a defensive player of the year. Like, he's a defensive monster. It's okay. He's very, very versatile as a big. So, glad to see that for him. Dorian Finney-Smith to Houston as well. Houston is building something crazy. Their defense is going to be insane, because they got another defensive-minded person that I'm going to get to in a bit. 4-year, $53 million for Dorian Finney-Smith. I don't know how the Lakers lost him, but for the 3-and-D wing, he's gonna give you what you need. Dorian Finney's solid, man. I know Luka's probably like, man, y'all lost my guy again. But that's a solid pickup for Houston. Paul Reed, B-Ball Paul, back to Detroit. I'm liking that. I hope if we aren't able to get another 4, B-Ball Paul is going to be put into a big role this season, and I'm liking it because when he got in the game, his antics, his intangibles, his everything. I know he always gets into it somehow, some way, but he makes winning plays, and if we get him more minutes, which we might have to, depending on if we get either way, I think he's gonna play a lot more because we saw what he could do in the playoffs. So I'm liking the B-Ball Paul re-signing. Wait a minute. So I just read that. I saw that when after Jaren Jackson, they're looking for the money. So are they gonna cut? I hope they don't cut Cole Anthony, man, or buy him out, bro. He's a good player. He's a good backup. He's been solid his entire career, so I don't want to see that. D'Lo to Dallas. He's gonna be the replacement point guard this year for Kyrie. He signed a 2-year, $13 million contract. So when Kyrie comes back, hopefully he's back and he's good. D'Lo will be running the second unit, and that's actually spooky because Dallas is gonna allow for Cooper Flag to truly, truly expand his game without Kyrie this year, and so we can see a lot more of what he's able to do because he's going to be without a ball handler in Kyrie, he's ball dominant. Kyrie likes to dribble the ball and score. So this is a trade that I am still confused about. MPJ 2032 first round pick for Cam Johnson. I had to sit there because, see, I think this could have all been, this could have been avoided if MPJ didn't try to play through that injury, and people, like I said, people who don't know basketball, who think they know the game, of course they're gonna talk trash to MPJ because, oh, he's not producing in the playoffs. The man is hurt, and he's playing through the injury. Can you give him some respect? On the other side, MPJ, why did you play? Because now your stock is down, and your team just traded you for Cam Johnson, who's older than you and cheaper than you, and I don't think he's better than you. But it's going to be interesting because Cam isn't that much of an offense. I'm not saying he's not a threat. I'm just saying it's not. I don't even know if it's a fit. Because MPJ is a spot up. He shoots 40 from 3. Like, he just gets harped on because he don't want to pass the ball. And I think it's because Cam is more passive. He can't really create his own shot like MPJ. And I guess he's that much better of a defender than MPJ, even though, like, I think it's just, they had to get up. I think it's the money. I'm not going to lie because he's cheaper and he's older. But like I said, he's older, and I don't think he's better. But it's gonna be a fit. It's gonna be it's like a swap because he's gonna do what MPJ did. He's gonna pass the ball more. He's not gonna chuck. He's gonna be more calm. Even though MPJ is gonna go to Brooklyn now and probably average 25 a game because now he gets a chance to actually show what he's capable of. And I'm here for it because I'm an MPJ fan. Here it is. Yeah, Ty Jerome decided to go to Memphis. There it is. 3-year, $28 million contract. See, Cleveland, man, I don't know, man. It's just confusing me, man. But shout out to Ty Jerome, man. Really revived his early. It's not even like he's 28 or anything, but revived his career for real. Brought himself back. He's getting paid. And he's a good player. Kevin Porter Jr., 2-year, $11 million. He's going to be their guard now. And I'm liking that. I like KPJ. I like Kevin Porter Jr. a lot. I know he got into that stupid trouble, that stupid stuff with all that, and he's back in the league. And I like his game alive. I've been a fan of him for a while. It's just the off the court issues that like a lot of these guys are just. It's avoidable, man. Just don't act like you're above the law. It's that simple. As a fan looking from the outside in, you gotta be smart out here, because they don't care if you got the money. I've seen it multiple times. As soon as that guy signs that draft contract, here comes that random person. Oh, he did this. He did like. Don't even get caught up. Like if I had, and I'm 20, bro. I stay out the way. I don't be on that, and hopefully one day I'm up, and I'm praying that one day I'm up and I'm making good money, and I got money. But that's why I'm staying out the way, bro. Like, because a lot of this stuff is like KPJ could have been on his way to more money than this, because he was on his way. But that little thing stunted his career, and he's back and he's doing good. But it's just like that put a stigma on his career, and that's not good, man. But I'm happy for him, man. Bruce Brown back to Denver. I want to see how he looks, because he hasn't really played any meaningful basketball since they won the championship. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can still bring that intensity, because he was a big piece in that championship run. Bruce Brown, you heard his name every game, and that's respectable. Shout out to him, man. Detroit Piston product. For real. Because after he left the Pistons, of course, he started to take off. Kevon Looney to the Pels. That's crazy. Looney leaves Golden State, and now they really don't have a big that they trust. Golden State looking like they're in shambles, man. Cornette to the Spurs. That'll be interesting to see. Spurs got a lot of pieces, man. I don't really have much to say about Cornette. He brings defense. He's a good big, so he's a good big. It'll be interesting to see. Clinton Capella back to Houston. That's crazy to me. I don't know. Houston just got they're trying to build. See, the thing is, you see a team like the Thunder, who had the young guys, a lot of young guys, and like Caruso and Dort, basically, even though he's not that old. The Rockets are building a team that has old, young, old. Like, they're building the perfect mix. And it's actually insane to see how they're going to run it, because that's a lot of veteran and playoff experience there. And there's no excuse to why they shouldn't make a deep run this coming season. And, of course, Malik Beasley, he took a loss here. But shout out to Karis LeVert. I'm liking the pickup. Because, like I said, Malik, it's looking bad for him. Karis LeVert comes in. He's a shot creator. He can defend. He can be streaky at times. He could get hurt. But I like the pickup, man. We need a guy off the bench who can run the show. And I truly believe that Karis LeVert can run the show. If he stays healthy, that's a good pickup, man. People are hating. Of course, people are going to hate because it's not Malik Beasley. Well, like, people just like to hate because how can you blame the organization for something that your player did? You can't. It's just, you got to look at the player, not the organization. We have to make do with what we have. And Karis LeVert is a solid pickup, in my opinion. Brook Lopez to the Clips. Lakers got their big now, but Brook to the Clips is going to be solid. I think he's going to run the bench, but that adds defensive rim protection. It's like the Clips are like a team full of vets. Like, they can make a run. It's just when you're a team full of vets and no real youth, for real, the brakes turn on a little earlier than you expect. Like, you don't want to have to turn on the brakes ever, like, as a team. Like the Thunder, Pacers, they ran it all the way. Pacers' break was Halliburton's injury. Thunder, they got a break. You feel me? That's a bar, if you feel me. But Thunder, they were all gas, no. That's one thing about the Thunder that I said they need to be all gas, no breaks the entire playoffs. They went to multiple game sevens. Like, they should not have went to multiple game sevens. But the Clips, Brook Lopez is going to add floor spacing, rim protection, solid pickup. Luka Garza to the Celtics. I like it. Shout out to Luka Garza, man. Pistons. He played for the Pistons for a bit. I went to Minnesota. Didn't really get the best opportunity, but he's now in Boston, who is now lacking a big. Now he's going to be able to fill in that role, and with Tatum out, we don't know what their future looks like with Al Horford. I assume he resigns. That's a good. He's going to be able to showcase what he's able to do. Nickeil Alexander-Walker gets paid 4 years, $62 million contract to Atlanta. His career is taking off. That's all I got to say. He's really taking off, and he's trusting it, and the work is showing because he's a good player, and people start to write him off. But in the playoffs, he showed that he's a capable scorer. He's a really good player, and he was off the bench. He was a really spark plug. He's probably gonna run the bench unit. I think of him as like a Jordan Clarkson type of guy, but he has a lot more like upside in my opinion than Jordan Clarkson. Because you bring him off the bench and he can really turn it up, and then you can run him with the starters too. It's gonna be interesting to see because I don't think he's gonna start because they got Dyson Daniels and Reese Shea. So those are the wings that you have to start because those are your two guys who. That's your best defender, right there. Yeah, your best defender, your guy who you struck gold on defensively, because that boy is a defensive juggernaut, and you have Reese Shea, who's your number one pick, who showed flashes that he could be a really good wing. So you got to run Nickeil Alexander-Walker off the bench. You have to, but if you don't, I don't. It depends on the offensive approach from coach, but that's a really good pickup. Tyus Jones to the Magic, good pickup. They needed him. They needed a capable, smart guard who, with the looks of it, which Jalen Suggs is still there, but he runs the second unit. It doesn't matter. That's a really good pickup for them. Plumlee to the Hornets, back to the Hornets where he's done a lot of his damage. Taurean Prince back to the Bucks, 3-and-D wing, been solid his entire career. Jordan Clarkson to the Knicks, that is a interesting pickup, and now with the looks to get Mike Brown as coach, that's going to be interesting to me because they're going to play a whole different style of basketball. They're not going to get ran to the ground. Shout out to Tibbs, but I like that pickup for New York. That just adds another guy off the bench who's going to run. He's going to run your second unit, and he's going to be able to score the basketball, and he's going to be a microwave off the bench. He's not going to play defense like that, but you run him to give a guy like, you could give Jalen Brunson a breather, and allow Jordan Clarkson to run the show, and he's going to be able to do that because of his offensive ability, and they both lack on defense. So it's like you're just going to get a microwave off the bench. He's going to come in, he's going to score. He's going to try to play make, even though his job is to score the basketball. So adding another prolific scorer, and Jordan Clarkson, who's been, I'm not going to say he's been rotting in Utah, but Utah hasn't been playing meaningful basketball in a long time. So, yeah. And Gary Trent back to Milwaukee. They're getting their wings back. SGA with a $285 million. That's crazy. Supermax contract extension. Shout out to SGA, man. Still not the big. I'm still hating my boy, but he got bagged. Yabu Sele to New York. That's actually solid pickup. See, that's one thing. Knicks fans, year after year with Tibbs, it's like, we need bench depth. Tibbs wasn't going to play him anyway. Now that you have a new coach, you get bench depth, and you can have some faith. Miles Turner leaves Indy. Never thought the day would come. And he is now on the Milwaukee Bucks. Floor spacing. You lose Brook Lopez. What do? You go and get Miles Turner, a younger guy who can protect the rim, space the floor, switchable defender. Solid. Just more mobile and younger. Brook Lopez. Even though they low-key produced the same. But great pickup for Milwaukee. That led to Damian Lillard getting waived. That's tough. Valanciunas to the Nugs for Dario Saric. Nuggets making really good moves this offseason, man. You get a backup big in Valanciunas. I'm liking it. Gary Harris to the Bucks. The Bucks are getting shooters. Like, floor spacing is elite. Pat Connaughton to the Hornets for who? Micic. He's a shooter. What is this, bro? The Bucks have unlimited shooters. What am I watching? Dennis Schroeder. It was good while it lasted, Schroeder, man. That's crazy, bro. Now he's with the Sacramento Kings. I saw something about them trying to stretch it into a sign and trade. Give us Malik Monk, please. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you, Shooter, for your time. You are a very, very good pickup. We needed that. Jakob Poeltl. Wow, Jakob Poeltl, he's been solid his entire career. He's just been on the freaking Toronto Raptors, man. As of late, he was with the Spurs Raptors. So, $104 million extension. Solid for that guy. Tim Hardaway Jr. to the Nuggets. Nuggets retooling, man. Notable additions. Cam Johnson, Bruce Brown, Jonas Valanciunas, and now Tim Hardaway Jr. Are they making a push? Jokic another ring? I wouldn't be surprised, man, but the West is back being stacked. Now the East is weak with injuries. So, Duncan Robinson. Sign and trade? Yep, sign and trade. Duncan Robinson, welcome back to Michigan, my boy. Welcome to the Pistons. Fontecchio, we lose him. He wasn't really a piece down the stretch in the playoffs, though. So it's like we get a guy in Duncan who can shoot the skin off the ball. And that's going to be an interesting take. And last things I'm going to talk about are going to be Mike Brown, and I'm going to talk about Mike Brown, and I'm going to talk about DeAndre Ayton's 2-year deal. So I'm going to talk right now about DeAndre Ayton and me as a guy who is like, I look at basketball for what it is, and I look at players for what they like and what they don't like. And we look at a guy like Luka Doncic, who is, in my opinion, I don't care, SGA, Finals MVP, Luka the best guard in ball, in my opinion, still. Yeah, I believe that because it's just something about Luka, man. I don't know. I'm not even a fan. I'm not the biggest fan because he don't play defense, but he's good, bro. Luka's really good at basketball, bro. I'm not saying SGA ain't good. They both foul bait, but it's just that dynamic. I love dynamic basketball. There's just something missing in OKC. But Luka, you see, Luka had his best success with what in Dallas. He had his best success with a rim runner. He loved Derek Lively. He loved Daniel Gafford. He didn't have much success with Porzingis. As I was saying, sorry, I'm gonna have to cut that out. But my dad called me talk about some bugs, bro. Luka likes a rim runner. And getting Ayton, see, Lakers fans, me personally, I'm like, Luka's probably not even. They still got Jackson Hayes. He's probably gonna utilize him better because Ayton is a guy who I was once a fan of, but it seems that he has lost his love for the game. Like, it's not like, it's like, I don't know, bruh. It's like his aggression is just gone. And unless he could be good. Hey, Luka gonna make him look. They gonna be good together. 2 top 3 picks from that draft. Y'all both better produce. I'm just saying that Luka liked a guy who's a rim runner, pick and roll, catch a lob. Aiton's gonna try to create on the post like Gafford, Lively. Those guys are looking on the pick and rolls. They're looking for lobs. It was Lob City, 2024 last year. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. But even with LeBron, okay, camera. All right, LeBron shopping. They're shopping LeBron now. Well, possibly. It's gonna be interesting to see. And last thing I'm gonna talk about today is Mike Brown. And Mike Brown's a dang good coach. He's gonna, like I said earlier, there's not much to talk about now. He's gonna be a guy who utilizes his bench. He's gonna have to now that they got some dogs on the bench now, not like they didn't have before. But it's gonna be interesting to see how a different coach of the year in Mike Brown runs the show in New York, and I'm liking it, man. I think New York makes runs. Like I said, the East is open. I think New York's the team to beat. In my opinion, they're the team to beat. And I'm liking that for them. And, of course, my Pistons in the mix. But we got to see how free agency plays out to say we're up there. Because New York sent us home. So that's all I got for y'all today, man. This is a longer video. A lot of stuff that I went over. And I'm going to be back probably next week. I'm working, I know. But I'm going to be back next week with another video for y'all. And appreciate y'all who be watching. Of course, I'll be posting it. So those who tune in, shout out to y'all. One day this junk's going to blow up. And we going to have some pro NBA players, some anybody on here, bro. I'm going to be talking to the pros, interviewing them. That's what I want to do in my life. So that's all I got for y'all today. Peace out, man.